This is LT Melton with FetchYourNews.com, and I'm here with Jeremy Sellers, Assistant Athletic Coordinator at the Gilmer Parks and Rec. Now, you have started a new archery team here in Gilmer County.
That's correct.
Talk a little bit about that and the process and how they got started.
Okay. They first came to us wanting us to come up with some different avenues for athletes to be able to compete. And the one thing that we found is that archery, no matter what your age, no matter what your athletic ability, anybody can stand side by side and compete at the same level. So a childish 11 and 12-year-old could shoot against somebody that's 20 or 30 years old. Grandmother, granddaddy, aunt, and uncle can shoot next to their grandson, their grandnephew, grandniece. And it's something that's just really open. And in this rural community, it's something I feel like that would help the children and the adults.
Now, I'm glad that you brought that up because this is a community where hunting is a big part of the culture and the community up here. Do you think that will help get kids that are interested in archery?
Absolutely. Right now, our local Buck Hunter Association, I think they're 980 members strong, and I would say 40%, maybe just guessing, is youth. So if we can keep those kids interested in archery or anything else for that matter, I think we need to be able to offer them anything we can.
Now, let me ask, how did you get certification to teach archery? Because obviously this is an Olympic-style game that has, well, weaponry, for lack of a better term. Talk about being able to teach kids how to use these items properly.
Okay. We got in touch with our local DNR agent that put us in at the state level. I talked with the gentleman several times. He offered to come here and do a clinician class for us. It was an 8-hour-long class. We had hands-on training, we had written training, and we also, all of us, there were 7 of us that completed it. And all 7 had to actually teach a class before we would be able to be certified. From that level, we will not be able to teach another adult to be able to be a clinician, but we'll be able to supervise children and teach them the proper technique in shooting Olympic styles. I think in Macon in March, there was 5,000 competitive children shot at the Olympic state event. So it's a big deal in the state of Georgia.
Now, and how is the competition in the state as opposed to on the national level?
You know, we never got into that as far as the competition as much because we want to get as many people in as we can and serve whatever competitive level you are, whether you're a beginner, whether you're exceeding at a high level. So right now, that's where we're at. We just want to get as many children in here as we can, and then if we have some that are above or decide they want to go compete, then we'll get to that at a later date.
And what's the age groups?
We start at 9 and go to 18 as far as competitive shooting. Now we're going to open this up from 9 to whatever. Adults are more than welcome to come and sign up and shoot with us. We'll have 2 different ranges to shoot. They'll both be in the county. They'll both be indoors in a gymnasium. So it'll be climate controlled for the older people or for the younger people that can't stand the heat throughout the summer. And I think we'll do real well with it. So.
Now, where are these places?
We're going to use our Civic Center gymnasium, and we have another site that we haven't quite facilitated yet that I don't want to release right now.
Okay, no problem.
But
now let me ask, as far as the competitions goes, what are the competitions indoors or is outdoors part of the ambiance, so to speak?
No, they try to keep this strictly indoors just because of the weather and the wind. The wind is a huge deal in archery.
Right.
And you go out with 25 hours and come back with 12.
Gotcha.
So, you know, you want to try to stay indoors if you can. We have a big net behind our shooting range, and it's made of Kevlar, so you don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt. Nobody's allowed behind the net. So it's a very, very, very controlled sport.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because obviously there's obviously parents might have some concerns who don't hunt and who aren't familiar with the sport of allowing their child to handle a bow and arrow. So, what are some of the, I guess, what are some of the things, the fundamentals, so to speak, that you teach as far as safety is concerned?
Well, from the very start, you initiate lines and boundaries of where children have to be versus where the sporting equipment's at, and everything's controlled on a whistle. So one whistle they'll step forward, the next whistle they'll pick up their sporting equipment, and then so forth onto the line. So it's very, very, very controlled. I checked with DNR. That was a huge concern from the Park and Recreation standpoint. And to date, if I may misquote this, but 1 million something have completed this course with 0 injuries to date. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. DNR does an outstanding job of teaching safety.
Now, I guess I want to ask, when it comes to the competitions, what are the age groups, or do like the 9-year, like, because like, as you said, it's all dependent on accuracy. Does a 9-year-old compete against a 15-year-old, or how does that work?
No, boys and girls compete co-ed against each other, but as far as that, the age brackets are broke up into separate levels. Now we shoot a Genesis bow, and Genesis bows are the only bows that are allowed to compete with or shoot in these Olympic style tournaments, because they're so versatile from the width, length, and draw pull. But as a competing standpoint, they're broken up, if I'm not mistaken, into 2-year increments.
Okay.
So 9 and 10 would shoot together, 11, 12, and so on and so forth.
And where is the state championship held?
Yeah, making it the I'm sorry, Perry, Georgia.
Perry, Georgia.
Yes. Yes.
Now, do you already have any team members, so to speak, or are you just now?
We just now opened up registration 2 days ago, and I think we've got 30 kids already signed up.
Okay.
In 2 days, so we're doing good. We would like to have our numbers to where we can split and have 2 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And we would also like to offer this to our surrounding counties.
Mm-hmm.
Once we go through this initial couple of classes,
Right.
then we want to open up to Pickens County, to Fannin, all of our neighboring counties. We would love to have their kids, because they don't offer it, so we would like to fill that void for them.
Now, where can people contact you, and where can people register? Give out some contact information for the people.
Okay, GilmerRecreation.com. You can go online and go to our summer courses, click on Archery. It'll pull up times, location, and prices. Or you can give me a call at the office, 635-7700, or you can call my mobile, 273-9373. All area codes are 706.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, LT.